Gail Levy, welcome to my living room.
Good morning. I'm happy to be there. Of course, it would be better if we were together, but
I know, not yet though. We're getting there,
yes,
hopefully soon.
yes,
Where
yes,
are
we
you
are.
calling in from?
I'm calling in from just outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, very cool. So you're not too far. I'm in northern New Jersey.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So you are the CEO of HFACTOR Water, which I have right behind me. I have my HFACTOR right here. I was going to crack it open with you on the call. It's very delicious.
Yeah, I
So
got
thank
mine
you.
too.
Oh, nice. Wait, let me see. What flavor do you
Well,
have?
no, this is the original.
Oh, the original.
This is the
Okay.
one that it all started with.
Oh, well, how did H Factor start?
It's such a interesting path. This is my third startup, so I had two previous startups prior to launching H Factor, and it's a bit of a bittersweet story. My best friend, unfortunately, had ovarian cancer, and I would take her for her treatments, and she would always say to me, "Gail, why can't you figure something out that would at least minimize, the um, inflammation and issues that she was dealing with getting chemo and radiation." And I would look up so many things and everything ended up, becoming snake oil. And unfortunately, she passed away. And about 6 months after she passed away, I got a fortuitous phone call. A friend of mine who was a professional basketball player called me up out of the blue and said, "What do you know about molecular hydrogen?" And I said, "Well, except for that it's number one on the periodic table and that they give it to divers when they have the bends, that was about it." And he said, "Well, seriously," he said, "I've had some friends that have tried it and they found that not only, did they recover faster, but they felt in athletic sports that they performed better." And he said, "Why don't you take a look at it?" So, no harm. I went and started to do some research, went to Google Scholar, put in hydrogen water, hydrogen therapy, and I was amazed that there was, like, at the time, over 170 published papers on the efficacy of molecular hydrogen in health and wellness. And this was over 6 years ago. So I thought, how interesting. And the first one that I opened up, this was crazy, was a paper on cancer patients, and they were taking cisplatin, and that was the chemo my friend Lori was on. I get the chills now, even thinking about it.
Me too, just hearing that.
Yeah. So anyway, I knew that it was my destiny, that if nothing else, I had to pursue this. So I reached out to three well-known people in the medical space, and I sent them the studies, and I said, "What do you think? Do you think that this has any merit?" And they said, "If you could figure out how to get hydrogen free flowing in water and then create a container that will maintain the integrity without the hydrogen outgassing, we believe you'll have the first natural functional beverage." So at that point, I said, "I have to pursue this." And where do you start? So I looked at some of the studies and noticed that a lot of the studies were coming out of Japan. It was actually a thriving business over in Japan. It's very popular over there. And decided to take a trip over and learn as much as I could about molecular hydrogen. The only problem was is that they were making it just in time in a laboratory. So the takeaway was not what I had expected, and came back to the States and did more research. There were several universities here in the United States that had done some studies. Even NASA had done a study on it and reached out to NASA and got some information from there. And then I started to figure out, well, how am I going to get this hydrogen in the water? And it took me to Germany. And there was this tech, I know it's
What a
crazy.
story. I'm tired just listening to you tell it.
So I went to Germany. I brought some scientists and Barry the basketball player for moral support. And we started to do the testing. And actually, they flipped out a little bit when I told them we were working with hydrogen because it requires, certain necessary ventilations. And but anyway, we pursued it, and we found out that heat was actually killing off some of the hydrogen in this particular process. So packed everything up, came back to the States, and just literally started from scratch. And I went to Home Depot and bought a cement mixer and two beer kegs at a local beer distributor in Philadelphia, and started to do it from the very beginning. And was fortunate enough to meet an engineer who helped me build it up, and we expanded, and it was trial by error, and we finally figured it out, and today we have three high-speed machines.
Wow.
So it's a pretty amazing story.
So I want to take it back to the very beginning, because your friend called you and asked you about, what do you know about hydrogen? I can't imagine one of my friends calling me up asking me that question. Do you have a science background, or?
Everybody asks me that, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, "Are you a biophysicist?" And I said, "No, I just was pursued by, what happened to my friend." But when Barry called me, he said, "I'm calling you because you're the serial entrepreneur of my friends." And I think that when you are fueled by passion for something,
Yes.
it is amazing at what limits we can go to. And, to see somebody just, you know, be ravaged by all of those, chemicals from the chemo and radiation. I mean, it's just terrible. And if I can help a fraction of the people just minimize it a little bit, I mean, what a great achievement that would be.
Absolutely. Definitely. I know cancer treatments, especially now during this crazy time, worrying about the COVID with that, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So H Factor, how long has it been around for?
So we launched it May 2017 in
Okay.
two very unique places. One was Giant, which is part of A-Hold, and the other location was Saks Fifth Avenue.
Wow.
I know.
Very random.
Well,
But I
things
feel
just
like,
are like crazy how
yeah,
things happen to
yeah,
me.
I couldn't imagine you having a traditional rolling out anyway, but I think that's awesome. So what was the reception?
So I had a chance meeting for one of the top executives from Hudson Bay, and sent him the water. We talked about it at this event and sent him the water, and he fell in love with it. And we were then subsequently selected. I don't know if you knew, but 3 years ago, Saks had a health and wellness. They took out everything from the second floor and turned the whole floor into health and wellness. It was a 6-month pop-up. And so we had front and center, we had, as they say in real estate, location, location, location. We had the best location. It was set up like a living room. We had a bar where we were serving the water. And that, because of what they did, and it was so groundbreaking that a store like that would devote an entire floor to it, that we got tremendous amount of PR. And that really helped a lot, in terms of propelling the company and, getting it out there. And then we just started growing. And today we're in well over 5,000 stores. So it's pretty amazing, the trajectory in the past 3 years.
Are professional athletes and teams utilizing your product?
Oh, yes. So we have several professional NFL and NBA teams that drink the water, and some of them drink 5 or 6 pouches a day, both when they're playing and now, of course, when they're not playing. But they're still drinking it, and we have Major League Baseball, professional golfers, tennis, Olympic athletes, and just everyday people, who work out and just want, something that's better for them, but it only has two ingredients: pure water and pure molecular hydrogen. So it's very simple.
Yeah. So in my hand right now, I have blood orange, which is excellent. You know what it reminds me of? It's a healthier version. You know those ice pops in the long tube you would get, like
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
ice and like crushed. That's what this tastes like, the blood
Yeah.
orange. So it's very refreshing. I know you suggest, drinking it cool. So I had it in the fridge and I took it out and now I'm sipping on this. And I know you have other flavors like honeydew,
Yes, exactly. Tart cherry and watermelon.
watermelon.
Yes, and we just to keep with I'm determined that it just has simple ingredients because we don't want additional chemicals or artificial flavoring or sugars or artificial sweeteners. So we use the natural oils from the fruit, and that's how we get the flavoring in the flavored waters.
I love that. And uh, that's such an important thing to get across to our
Yes.
viewers that, I mean, right here, you could see, I don't know if it's reversed, but 0 calories, 0 fat, sodium. I mean, it's 0, 0, 0. You have three ingredients
Hmm.
and, it's a perfect, healthy summer way to quench your thirst, like the Gatorades and stuff, like it's just too sugary. You want to go to sleep after drinking them. But this is a refreshing, tasty way to get your nutrients in, without jeopardizing other aspects of health.
Yes, and it's super hydrating. So, especially now, with the summer months upon us, that we definitely need something that will hydrate us well. And we all have to be very cognizant of that, to drink as much water as we can because, we just need it.
We definitely just need it. So the hydrogen water, I don't know if we really touched on this, but I want our viewers to understand, what does the hydrogen do in our bodies once we consume it?
Okay, so being hydrogen is the smallest molecule. It can easily go through our cells, and they have found that it passes the blood-brain barrier, and then can go into our mitochondria, which gives us more energy. And think of hydrogen as a powerhouse for our cells. So so that's how it works. And like I said, it is the smallest molecule. They have found that it helps 170 different disease models, but of course, it varies for different people. And as you mentioned earlier, it really helps people that work out, athletes. There's so many different things, and I encourage people to just go out and do the research and see a lot of the studies that are published there. Today, there's over 1,000 published papers on the efficacy of molecular hydrogen in health and wellness. And when I started, there was about 170. So you can see how much how far it's gone since then.
Are you is this H factor water available in hospitals, cancer centers?
Not yet. Of course, my original intention was to go more in that direction. And then what happened is a very famous professional basketball team had discovered H factor. And I got a call that somebody was buying a load of H factor, did the research, found out, the team, and then they started spreading it to their friends, and then before you know it, it just took a different trajectory. I mean, of course, I want to make this available not, only to people who are, dealing with chemo and radiation, but, again, it's inflammation. So especially today, everyone's dealing with, COVID-19. It certainly will, be beneficial for them.
Yeah. Where can people find out more about you and to order online if they're too afraid to go to stores still?
Okay, so of course you could go to our website, which is hfactorwater.com, or you can go to amazon.com or walmart.com. They're all available on all of those sites, and you could probably, if you order it today, you could have it maybe as quickly as tomorrow, or if not, 2 days.
And it is delicious water, guys. So definitely pick up a case or two or 10, especially for those hot summer days.
Mhm.
Thank you so, so much, Gail. This was so fun.
Thank you. I'm so glad, and stay well,
Yes.
and Drink H Factor.
Factor. Really quick before we leave today, how are you doing with quarantine? Are you cooking up any other business ideas or getting creative?
Yes, I'm thinking about the next, generation of H Factor and what we're going to do. So I have a few ideas and been experimenting, in my kitchen. The other thing too is I don't know if people realize how this package is very special because it's a low carbon footprint. And we also participate in a recycling program. So we encourage people that purchase it to go on our website. We have a link and then we send them a prepaid, no cost to them envelope, which they put their empty pouches in. And then we recycle them into useful products such as picnic tables, park benches, and other things.
That's awesome. And they're BPA free too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. That's awesome, Gail. Well, I hope to see you soon. One day we'll have to do this in person when you
I
have
would
your
love that.
generation of H Factor, because like I said, we're not that far away from each other. So
Absolutely. Take care.
take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.